leave that to expand for a few hours or days. And then it's got a zipper on the cover, which is great because I need to trim off a few inches to make it fit sideways in the van. So hopefully when it expands, it's not so tight that I have trouble getting it unzipped, but we'll see. We'll check back in, I don't know, 12 hours. All right, I've got about 6 days till my next job, which will be a travel job. I'm gonna drive it. I just bolted in the queen size bed framing, fasteners. I labeled the 3 cross pieces so that when I remove it, I'll be able to reinstall, since my holes are all slightly different. So these feel super solid. Feeling good here. And then I bought 2 sheets of birch 1/2-inch ply. It's got a nice finish on one side. And it feels plenty rigid. And then I bought 3 2x4s. I'm gonna rip these in half and build my kitchen countertop, galley countertop, for a sink and a camping stove. I'm just gonna frame it really rough with some 2.5-inch deck screws. And ultimately, once I get, I'm gonna try all this, for a few overnights and cooking sessions, but then I'm gonna build an aluminum frame with a nice countertop, aluminum for lightweight, because I want it to be removable. And I think I'll just use ratchet straps to attach it to the side of the van. Doing a little woodworking. And once again, I'm putting my lighting equipment to use. All right, ply 1 of 2, cut and installed. Take a 45 off that corner and a small 45 off the forward corner. This one's 4 feet wide. I think the second one's gonna be like 2 foot 2. I was debating ripping it right down the middle, so each panel's the same size. But I'm thinking I can use some of this ply, the leftovers, for cabinet doors possibly. I'm also thinking now for local jobs, maybe able to use that as like a second tier shelf for cases. Put like a little net or something on the front end, keep it all from flying. Cargo net. 45s at the aft ends. I blew it. I should not have drawn that pencil line. To borrow an eraser from my son. And it's in, it's tight. I may actually be a little bit too tight of a fit, because it's going to squeak a bit. And then eventually when I insulate and put paneling in, I'm going to have to rip off another, I don't know, probably a 1/2 inch on each side. But that'll come later. Pretty good. And I've got, now my head is basically touching. So it's a little tight, but that's why I went queen. I can angle a little. I think I'm going to do the countertop 4 feet, which is just a little bit to the right of that block. And then I'm going to come out from the inside of this frame member 18 inches. That gives me about 1/3 of that countertop. That 4 feet will be occupied by a small sink. All right, I'm working on a hill, making this difficult. Everything's sliding around. My thinking is I'll put in a DC powered cooler fridge at some point about this size, just under the bed. And then a 4 foot by 18-inch countertop. Just roughed in here, it'll flush up with the bed. Sink. I think now that I see this 2-burner cooker, I just already own this, that's why I threw it in here, but I think I'm going to switch to a single burner portable to have more countertop space when preparing meals, coffee. And then water system, just be fresh water with a hand pump. 5 gallons fresh, 5 gallons gray, And I've got a total of 4 of these jugs, so I'll carry 15 gallons of fresh, I guess under the bed, or maybe under the countertop, I don't know, still figuring it out. And then I get just a little porta potty that I'll just pull out if it's ever needed. I was debating making the countertop a little lower, but I think that's gonna work out pretty well. It's a little high, but that gives me more space underneath, and it also flushes it with the bed. And I think I'll do a little return here that acts as like a splash shield, heat shield, grease shield, so I'm not getting any heat or other stuff splashed onto the mattress. And it's an 8-inch mattress. I forgot when I commented earlier about the headroom. It's actually going to be about 8 inches higher. And I think it's about 95 degrees right now. And that fan is helping quite a bit. And there's a breeze today. If there were not a breeze, I don't think I'd be doing this right now. Progress continues. 4 feet by 32 high. I got a little bit of a toe kick. Same on the back side, just to compensate for any flare that exists in the framing of the van. And then that also flushes up, so it's a little catch for these water bottles. I think I'm also going to put in another one up here, and then maybe a cross piece this way, or over here to hold 2 jugs, or maybe I'll go 4 across and then a shelf. I don't know, still figuring it out. Okay, temporary countertop. Leaving a gap for now, because again I'm going to skin this, insulate it, and put something, paneling on the interior. So yeah, stove, sink, a little bit of open counter space. I'm going to put all 4 water bottles at the bottom and then a shelf at the mid-height. I've got enough lumber left to do a second shelf. I was able to build all of this with 2 sheets of ply, which I originally purchased for the bed, and then the leftover cut, so I was able to do the sides, top, and I still have enough for the mid-shelf. All right, test fitting the faucet. This is for a sailboat. It's a hand pump. And I didn't buy the cheapy one. This is actually a higher quality brand, whale gupper. It's one place I don't want to cut corners in case I don't want to be out in the middle of nowhere and not have a functioning sink. So first thing I discovered is the hole diameter is larger than what's on the sink. I think it's 2-inch, but it might be 2 1/4. I have a 2-inch hole saw. I don't have a 2 1/4, so I'm hoping. Actually 2 1/8. It might be 2 1/8 versus 2-inch. So anyway, I'm going to drill this 2-inch hole, and I clamped a piece of plywood in the back so that I can get the pilot aligned. And I'm going to give this a go right now. Yep. So 2 inches not quite big enough. Looks like it's 1 1/8. Oh, I got to poke around, see if I have one hidden somewhere. I don't want to go to the store.